Hello friends, welcome to my channel SushantChessWise. Today we are at the new topic and we are going to discuss how to attack with opposite side castled position. So I have taken an example from my students game. See, both players are around 1550 rating range and we have a very interesting attack going on. White is of course ahead in development and last move black has castled here on the queen side. So we can quickly see how white is very active. See, the queen is eyeing the whole c file, knight is well placed. Okay, it is looking at c6, f5, b5, these important squares. This knight on c3 is eyeing the d5 square. Of course, the first move is not very difficult to spot. White plays b4. Whenever there is the opposite side castled position, what happens is we try to roll the pawns, try to attack the enemy pawns with our pawns to open the pieces. Here, white mixes pawn roller and piece play in a combined way. So these kind of examples you can try to use and match the moves with the analysis. That will help you the most. Take them like an exercise. Wherever possible, I will try to give points that here if you are finding the right move, you have got full points. So like a point system you can do, or you can at least match the moves. Black of course plays knight e6 and from here on we will try to find the moves for white. White has very few options here. Attack is going on, so knight into c6 is one option here which looks decent, but after bc, ba6, kb8 nothing much is happening. After knight d5, pawn takes, and c7 and the attack is beaten off. Another option would have been knight f5, but here to see takes, maybe the knight can be played to c7 simply. Good for white, of course the position is already better, but I won't say this is winning outright. Many people consider the move knight d5, which looks great at first. See, after cd, bd5 check, here to bc and c7 and nothing much is happening instantly. White thinks of the move bishop e6 check. Strange move at first. Why surrender the bishop, right? But see the next idea. He is all set to hit with b5 or with the move knight jumping to b5. One of them. The critical weakness are c6 and a7. So white tries to open the game, especially when the pawn takes. We will see that if the bishop takes on e6, then white had planned nd5. This is what I liked. The student mentioned that after bishop takes d5, e takes d5 was the main idea, because now see black is compelled to play the c pawn. C pawn is attacked thrice, and after pawn move bc, dc, knight b5, she felt that the position is winning for white. Of course, it was totally correct assessment. Knight into a7 is coming. See, after rook d5, knight a7, kd7, see rook d1 or queen a4 check. All are looking great. Position is of course winning for white. So after b6, the opponent went fe6, to which white again found the strong move ncb5. Brilliantly using piece play and the attack with pawn. Both are getting combined. See, the weaknesses are, as I said, c6 and a7. Now see, the players are not very highly rated. Why I like this game? Because you see the white's attack, it plays smoothly. Doesn't look like a 1550 game, right? And now black plays really bad. Black played e5, playing to white's hand actually. But qd7, which would have been a better way to guard c6. Here I liked the move knight a7, kb8, and the student was insisting on nc6, maybe bc, knight c6, which is of course good, but why take nd8 and dilute the attack? I was keen on the move b5 here. See, b5 is very strong. If you have found this move b5, great. The point is that, see, after king a7, c6 was attacked brutally. So here too, after bc, knight c6 check, king a8, queen check, kb7, rook b1 check. See, it's game over. kc7, qa7 check. It's about to be a mate now. King c6, multiple mates, either qb6 or we can play rook fc1. Both are checkmates. So the opponent went e5, and after e5 also, I hope you must have noted knight into c6. Pawn takes, queen takes, kb8. The key move to be seen was not just b3 but black's defense rd7. Only move to cover the square a7. Now see what has happened. g4 bishop is not guarding c8 anymore. Many suggest the move f3, which is decent actually, but any of the rooks to c1 was great. I wanted rook fc1. Student went with rook a c1. Okay, it has its own logic. F rook can go to d1 after f3 in some lines. Now see, there is mate on c8 on the spot, so the rook will have to move rb7, and see, it's white to play and win. Of course, you must have noted. So white went knight a7. Even bishop a7 was great. Okay, the point is, if you take on a7, this is the tactic. ba7. If king takes should be the main line. If queen takes, then see, just queen e8 check, king moves, queen takes f8, c8 was guarded, right? So we couldn't use queen check, bishop was guarding there. And now see multiple threats. Queen takes g7, queen takes d6. So of course this is a losing position for black. And here if king takes a7, then too there are many options actually. I like the simple queen a4 check, kb7, rook c6. At these key points, I would suggest that do try to compare your moves with mine. Okay, that will help you the most. You will figure out what is best, what's going on. No defense here. Knight f6 and a pretty mate follows, forced mate. Queen a6 check, kb8, rook check, kc7. Everything wins, mind you. Rook c1 is perhaps simpler. There is a forced mate with qa7, kd8, rook check, bc8, rook c8, kc8. See, the pieces combine beautifully. Rook check, king d8, queen check, kd7, qc8, checkmate. Okay, some of the analysis my student told me and some I could suggest after the game. That is how I thought that this example should be very good for calculation purpose. So opponent played qd7, the only move, and white goes qa6. Another simple move. Now the threat is to bring the knight either to c6, okay, or this rook is heading to c8. Of course, lost position. If rook takes a7, game is over instantly. Rook c8, pretty finished. See, queen c8, queen a7. Again spotted by my student. So here, knight e7, opponent is trying hard and is trying to cover the square c6 and c8. So now another good move, rook c3. Many moves work here. Okay, if you want knight c6, then also I would suggest your option is great. But I thought here the attack is getting bit slowed down because of b7. Although after c, rook f c1, we should consider white as winning. As it is for the piece, we have got 2 pawns and plus the attack rolling. But rook c3 is a more cleaner way to finish the game off. F rook is coming to c1 and this rook often eyes a3. Okay, so rook a7 and now see, bishop takes, queen takes, qd6 check, king a8. The student said initially she was planning qd8 check here, but realized this is leading to nothing much. Knight c8 takes, queen b8, and whichever check queen interposes, maybe we will get e5. That will make it 4 pawns for the piece, but still the attack is gone, right? Another interesting move which will give you full points is rook c7. You must have noted it's compulsory to give up qc7, totally winning. 3 poorly placed pieces are no match for this powerful queen, right? Plus there are pawns, 3 pawns. But here rook fc1, another killer move. The combined power of 2 rooks, see here, is far more than these 3, right? Plus this rook is totally dead, we can say. So it's game over. Now see, queen a4 was played and forced mate in 4 follows after qd8, nc8, takes, and qc8 is bit faster. King a7 and mate in 2 after rook c7, kb6, qb7, checkmate. I would say smoothly conducted game. Very few flaws in the game. Of course, white's play was accurate in the opening and black's play was really poor in the opening, black fell behind its development. So I hope you must have learned a lot of new stuff, how to attack the king, and this was basically sort of calculation exercise, what I call as game study, studying games of players to improve our calculation plus some other skill, like here it was opposite side castling, attacking the opposite side castling. So I hope you are finding these lessons useful and instructive. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for your time.